Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank all of you for being here. Mr. Bremer, wanted to follow up on some of the discussions we've had previously. Obviously, as a former SEAL, you're more than slightly familiar with the importance of good ISR. And this year, the Department of Defense has tried to eliminate some of the platforms to make room for other ISR capabilities related specifically to the near-peer adversaries. And we're in this shifting time frame. We're all very familiar with that. But as a former SEAL, do you have concerns about this transition and the gap that, for example, in North Dakota, we have the MQ-9s, the RQ-4s are two of the platforms that our airmen fly and utilize. Are you concerned at all, as I am, that we don't have a plan for the middle, and is it less important that we do?
Senator, it's certainly an important issue. I don't have any particular knowledge on what the plan to make that plan is for that transition. I will say that ISR is very important to the battle space, specifically to SOF, who tends to be out on the edge of that battle space. So I think ensuring that we have eyes and ears in the areas that we operate is important. I do have confidence that the department will get this right. Obviously, we're transitioning and adapting our enterprise for both the counterterrorism mission set and near-peer competition. So we need assets in other geographies outside of traditional CT mission sets. Beyond that, I have no other knowledge about the issue.
And maybe, and I appreciate that. And I think North Dakota and North Dakotans and all of us, we want to be part of the solution. I'm certainly not part of the problem because we know where we need to get. We'd love to be able to get there faster, but we're concerned about the transition, and I would look forward to working with you, and would love, of course, as always, and with everybody, love to have you come to North Dakota, see some of our capabilities, both at the Guard and at the Air Force, and even in the private sector as it relates to ISR platforms, UAS, and would welcome that if you'd come and visit us. And Mr. Hansel, similarly, I mean, you're former special ops. You understand the importance of ISR. Are you comfortable with the decreases in capacity with some of the legacy systems that are being contemplated?
Senator, as we discussed on the phone, certainly aware of the progress made in the department to align ISR resources to NDS priorities. And from my own time in combat, certainly recognize the rightful insatiable demand by commanders for ISR as it increases mission success and, equally importantly, reduces risk to force. If confirmed, I would certainly work to balance this alignment to NDS priorities with the ongoing requirement to meet combatant commander ISR demand.
So I don't remember if you and I discussed this on the phone or not, but if not, I always have to do this for the benefit of the senator from Alaska, reminding him that it's cold in North Dakota too, and we border two Canadian provinces and are close to the North Pole. So with regard specifically then to that domain, the Arctic domain, do you have any thoughts about ISR in that domain and the role northern bases could play?
I think, Senator, as we pivot ISR support to NDS priorities, of note is Chinese and Russian increased activities. Chinese scientific, economic, and security activity in the Arctic since joining the Council, and Chinese and Russian exploration of the northern seaways. And so I think, as I think about ISR related to the Arctic, is coverage for Chinese and Russian great power competition is certainly something that would be weighed.
Well, Mr. Polakowski, as long as I have a couple of minutes, of course, North Dakota has two of the three legs of the nuclear triad. Submarines don't have a lot of value in the middle of the North American continent, but if they did, we'd love to have all three. But anyway, we have two of the three, and I know you get this probably a lot, but maybe it's more of a statement than a question. We share the concern about the timeline for modernization. We're all committed to it. I know the chairman showed you the blue book, the NDS, and he reminds us, when he's reminding you, he's really reminding all of us of the priority of the NDS, and we appreciate that. So just any thoughts you might have on sticking with the timeline for modernization, particularly of the ground-based strategic deterrent, but as well as the B-52 modernization. Just know we're with you, and then it would just open the floor to your thoughts.
I think the planning and deliberations that have been made so far with regards to the delivery platforms as well as the work by NNSA on both the warhead side as well as infrastructure are all well planned. They're very challenging. We not only have to modernize, but we also have to sustain what we have in place today. As Admiral Richard recently mentioned on a web talk, he basically was very emphatic. Whatever we can do to accelerate things, he would welcome. So one of the areas that I'm going to be focused on, considering all the normal balancing that one has to do in terms of programs, is where can we, wherever possible, accelerate? And of course, that is also going to take the cooperation of the Congress, because without funding, both for the department and NNSA, we won't get there. So I think we have a good plan. NNSA has a good roadmap in their area, and hopefully, with all the challenges ahead, we can very closely lead and manage the enterprise so we get to where we need to be, a strong, safe, and effective deterrent that will continue to last for the decades to come.
As with everything we've talked about, the transition is the challenge, and you won't have much argument in this committee. Thank you all. I look forward to supporting you all.